Just last week, it was announced Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson have agreed to an exhibition bout sometime next year in 2026. And a lot of people are not happy about it. Let's get into this one.
I know you won't swing, but this is the Parry.
This is the Parry.
Hook it and uppercut is getting scary.
It's getting scary.
Treasure the truth or risk getting buried.
Risk getting
I'm
killed.
on a mission, you hear me? Yeah, this is the Parry.
This is
They
the
got
Parry.
the green light if we say go.
Go.
Young Tyson, wake him up with the BK flow.
You know.
Loading up late round.
Thank you. Once again, we are back. I am the Pragmatic, and this is the Parry, where we don't pull or duck no punches. And before we get into this, I just want to remind y'all to jab that like button, hook off on that subscribe, and uppercut that share, please. All right, let's unpack this one. Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Just last week, they announced it that they both agreed to fight in an exhibition bout, and a lot of people have an opinion about this one. Some people are, they're not really too happy. Some people are kind of like, hey, let them get their money. I see Bill Haney, I felt like he pretty much said it best. Let them get their money. You got two of the biggest attractions ever in boxing, two of the most biggest pay-per-view box office draws in the history of boxing facing off against each other. Both of them past their prime. Tyson clearly more past his prime, as we've seen with the two exhibitions that he's had in the recent years, the one against Roy Jones and also the one more recently against Jake Paul, where his timing just really seemed to be off. And the one thing that I will say that does take away from this fight is it is kind of like one of those, you fooled me once, you're not going to fool me again type of thing, because I'm pretty sure Tyson is not going to go out there and try to hurt this guy. I mean, even though there is the animosity and there is the history between the two, the bad blood between the two, I strongly doubt, pardon me, Jeff, rest in peace, Roger, but like Jeff Mayweather said, it's a lot of money on the table. Both of these fighters are about to get paid a lot of money, and ain't nobody about to F this bag up, period. So I'm pretty sure, Mike is aware of that, which is definitely going to take away from the entertainment value of this fight. So for those who are thinking that they're about to catch an entertaining fight, no, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be pretty similar to the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. We know Floyd Mayweather has had about 6 or 7, maybe even 8 exhibitions in the last few years. We know he was over there fighting some Japanese guy, and he just recently fought John Gotti III, and that whole mess was a fiasco after that. But he has been active. He has had a second career in exhibitions. And so a fight with him and Mike Tyson only seems to make sense. I mean, if you look at it, it actually sets up a fight with him and Roy Jones next, to be honest with you. And I'm not against none of this. Me personally, I don't expect these to be great entertaining fights. But once again, like I said, we're looking at the two box office draws. Mike Tyson is the original box office pay-per-view blockbuster. He's the original. With the record-breaking numbers, he is the original. And Floyd Mayweather is the heir to his throne, period. He was the next. Those two right there. You could argue De La Hoya in there. And him and De La Hoya, that's Mayweather and De La Hoya, actually squared off and had one of the most lucrative fights in boxing history. But Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, this is a fight that I'm actually hoping that it does break some records. I'm hoping that this fight does do some numbers. Just for the sake of Mike Tyson and what he's given to the sport, and the fact that, we know that he's dealt with some crooked promotion before in the past. And I'm not even just singling out Don King, even though Don King was his primary promoter for most of his career, definitely the biggest part of his career as in his 2 championship reigns. But we know that He's dealt with some crooked promoters. And like I said, I don't want to just be pointing the finger at Don King, because whether we're talking Dino Duva, whether we're talking Cedric Kushner, Dan Goosen, all of these guys, Bob Arum, they were all corrupt when it comes down to it. None of these guys were actually for the fighters. But anyway, we know that Mike Tyson definitely has had some financial issues later on in his career, and he's went from sort of a boxing villain to basically a boxing ambassador. And so to see him get this type of paycheck, I'm not mad at him at all. Floyd Mayweather, I'm sure he's going to continue to piss people off with this. He just recently made a video where he was pretty much counting money, throwing it in the bag, letting it be known like, look, yeah, I would be pissed too. I would be pissed too. But I mean, it's smart business, and we're talking about fighters who, they're not in their prime no more, and even though they're not in their prime no more, there's still curiosity to see them in the ring. There's still the novelty. Yes, this is a circus show. This fight is absolutely a circus show. And like I said, I don't expect Mike to go out there and try to really hurt Floyd and mess up that bag. I'm pretty sure there's going to be an agreement between the two of these fighters that's going to be made, which unfortunately will take away from the actual excitement of the fight. Although I'm pretty sure they're going to sell the fight as if Mike is going to come out there and really try to hurt this guy. And I'm pretty sure Floyd is going to really get into his villain money Mayweather bag, and it's going to be a lot of shit talking back and forth. And I'm pretty sure it's going to get tense as the promotion of this fight gets closer. But I doubt that it's going to be any real fireworks when the fight takes place. Kind of expect to see something like a Jake Paul. If he wasn't going in there trying to mess the bag up for Jake Paul, then I don't expect him to go in there and try to mess the bag up with Floyd Mayweather Jr. I don't know if his performance in the Jake Paul fight will take away from people viewing this fight or any type of anticipation, I should say, for this fight. But I do believe that nonetheless, it will still be a big fight, and both of these fighters will earn a ton of money for this exhibition bout. Now, looking at that, if it were to be an actual fight, we're talking about a fighter who his biggest, heaviest weight was at 154 versus a fighter who fought his best weight between 212 and 220 pounds. I don't think that if they were to fight, whether Tyson was past his prime or not, Floyd would be able to overcome those type of obstacles. Getting leaned on, getting grabbed and grappled and punched on by a man that much bigger than you. And then not being able to get the proper respect from your opponent, not being able to hurt him. I don't know if even at almost 60 years old, if Floyd would actually be able to hurt Mike Tyson. So it's not even a dangerous fight for Mike in that aspect. There's a lot of people complaining about this fight being made. I heard Stephen A. Smith talking about people not needing to be in the ring and don't deserve to be in the ring. If anybody deserves to be in the ring in an expedition, even though we're talking about a big weight differentiation, if anybody deserves to be in the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr., it's Mike Tyson at this stage of their careers and getting a nice size paycheck. If anybody does, it's Mike Tyson. So if with Stephen A. Smith is talking, you need to shut the F up for real, because you sound crazy, man. You ain't never stepped in the ring. I heard you give your little rant of how much of a boxing fan you are. I was a little disappointed because your quotes was wrong. It was "Down goes Frazier." That was the first quote you got wrong. It was "Down goes Frazier," and it's "You're blowing it, kid." And that was for the George Foreman Frazier fight, when you talked about, you remember the quote from Howard Cosell, and also that was Angelo Dundee talking to Sugar Ray Leonard before he went out there and finished Tommy Hearns after he was down on that scorecard. So just to give you that correction real quick, Mr. Super Duper Fight fan. But anyway, this fight definitely, I have no calls about this fight. The only thing I will say is don't get your hopes up. If you are one of the people who are really anticipating and excited to see this fight, do not get your hopes up, because there's still a big chance that this fight will not take place. There's no venue named, there's no date, and I'm pretty sure that they are actually putting these things together and they got the agreement, and that's the main thing. But anything can happen. Floyd's camp can decide, this isn't, we got a better thing going with someone in another direction. I'm going to pull out. Tyson's camp can decide to pull out. Anything can happen. But I kind of think this fight might take place. And, you got the bad blood, which basically helps fuel and sell tickets. And it all started from, at least what we know about as the public, because I've heard other rumors about, but that would just be pure speculation. But from what we do know, we know that Floyd Mayweather came out and when comparing his greatness to Ali's greatness, pretty much, talked about the losses that Ali took, the 5 losses he took, talked about the fact that he lost to a fighter who had 7 fights or 8 fights, something like that, which was Leon Spinks, which really not only got Mike Tyson upset, but we also know that was the cataclysm to the Roy Jones having something to say about Mayweather when he expressed his opinion about feeling like Sugar Ray Leonard would defeat Mayweather if they had met. But anyway, we know that then prompted Mike Tyson's response when he was asked in an interview. You know how these interviewers like to do, start their little trouble, ask this one, ask that question. And Mike Tyson's response was basically, Floyd doesn't know greatness. He can't go take his kids to school. He's, hidden in this big house. And, Floyd is not great. And then he can also, at a point in time, he compared him to Chavez, who was damn near was like by 80-0. He also compared him to pound for pound greatest boxer to ever live, in my opinion, Sugar Ray Robinson, who had one of the greatest streaks. He wasn't undefeated, but went undefeated way longer than Floyd's 50-0 streak. So, I know that they had their little jabs back and forth. There was the incident with Mike Tyson at the WBC presentation, did faked the little punch at him, and Floyd, being Floyd, didn't even budge. I mean, my man didn't even budge. So we definitely have the bad blood laid out. We have the beef laid out. And hopefully it'll be somewhat of an entertaining fight. These fighters will get paid, and I look forward to this personally. I mean, it's not something I'm excited to see. When I say I look forward to it, I just look forward to seeing Mike Tyson getting the paycheck, and this will be it. Or maybe the Holyfield around the corner. Who knows? I would like to see that, since Mike wants to keep fighting and all that. Holyfield is definitely willing to throw the gloves on and fight. And I know that, after this fight, granted, everything goes right, I could see Mayweather saying, okay, let's take this fight with Roy Jones now, because that could be huge. So seeing these older fighters fight, seeing these divisions crossing and these exhibitions, I'm not opposed to it personally. And I know that one of the criticisms is that this is hurting. One of the critiques is that this is hurting some of the young stars in boxing and preventing them from becoming superstars, because we have fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson who are continuing to fight after their careers are over in these big high-profile pay-per-view events. And it's overshadowing current champions right now who are just coming into their greatness. And that's something that we have to talk about. I may have to do a whole little thing on that right there in itself. But basically, Tyson, Mayweather, I'm for it. Get that money. It's a hell of a bag out there for these guys. And everybody who's hating on it, I don't know what your problem is, man. Let these guys be great in their second career. Why not? And until next time, Blak, the Pragmatic, reminding you again, jab that like button, hook off on that subscribe, uppercut that share. Until next time, this is the Parry, where we don't pull or duck no punches. Once again, Pragmatic, Blak, and I'm out of here. Peace.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.